Ordo ab Chao, a Latin expression meaning order out of chaos, a motto of the 33rd degree and having the same allusions as Lux et Tenebris. The invention of this motto is to be attributed to the Supreme Council of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite at Charleston.
Hey YouTube world, harvest is plenty. Thanks for stopping by to check out the video. So, Ordo ab Chao, motto of the 33rd degree of Freemasonry. I've done a number of videos about Ordo ab Chao, order out of chaos, and I talked about how they plan to sow chaos in America and across the world, and then establish order from it. It's the Hegelian dialectic. It's a playbook, and a lot of people in America are asleep, so they're none the wiser. You know, it's been a very interesting week. We had 9/11. They was doing a remembrance of that. They also was doing a remembrance of Hurricane Katrina. Maybe you guys caught some of the episodes about that. Then there was the young lady who lost her life on the train in Charlotte, North Carolina. I actually have a video coming up about that. And then Charlie Kirk, you know, he got shot. So that's a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of suffering, a lot of crying and mourning. And I think we should pray for people. So keep all the families and the loved ones lifted in prayer. You know, when I saw all the fallout from the incident in Utah and how all this stuff is wrapping up, you know, you just shake your head because you can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. The Hill, they're reporting that Defense Secretary says that the Pentagon is tracking service members and civilians who celebrate Charlie Kirk killing. You know, they've diverted resources and personnel to track people who have anything bad to say online about Charlie Kirk and the incident that happened in Utah. Think about that. Charlie Kirk, you know, with all due respect, he's not a president. He's not on the level of somebody like Martin Luther King or anybody. He's a right-wing guy who is an ally to Donald Trump. And the Pentagon, or, you know, the Department of War, they're tracking service members and civilians who say anything bad about it, about the incident. The Navy has now jumped on board. I'm sorry, not the Navy, the Marine Corps. Yep, the Navy. Even the Coast Guard has now jumped on board, and they're now issuing warnings to all of their personnel, saying they're going to be dealt with swiftly if they say anything bad or negative about it. The State Department has issued a warning to foreigners, and so they're going to be tracking foreigners, and they're going to be tracking social media sites of foreigners. And if they say anything bad about Charlie Kirk, they're going to revoke and restrict their visas. Think about that. Things that make you go, But anyway, moving on, because I don't want my video to be taken down, or my channel to be taken down. So let's move on. I want to read something for you guys. This is at a Masonic website called the Masonic Path. The title says, Meaning of Ordo ab Chao, the motto of the 33rd degree Mason. It says here, the phrase Ordo ab Chao, which means order out of chaos, is Latin, is a motto that is widely recognized within the within the Freemasonry community. It is the motto of the 33rd degree, which is one of the highest honors and functions that can be bestowed on a Mason. The phrase can be found in the grand decorations of the Order of the Sovereign Grand Inspector General, as well as on other seals and flags representing various orders. It is also a phrase that has a deep historical meaning and is still relevant in Masonry today. The old and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry is one of several Masonic rites. Ordo Chao, motto of the 33rd degree of Freemasonry. You may be asking, why did I bring this up and what relevance does it have to what happened with Charlie Kirk? Now, as I told you guys, and my viewers, my subscribers, if you guys have been following me for a while, this is my third channel. They took down my first one overnight with no warning. I came up with a second channel, Harvest is Plenty 2, and it lasted for a couple of months, and they snatched that one down too overnight. So this is my third channel, Harvest is Plenty 3. And I talked about Ordo Chao on all my channels. Now, how is that relevant to what's going on with Charlie Kirk? I told you guys that they're trying to orchestrate civil war and complete pandemonium and chaos in America. They have a playbook and they're using it. So let's take a look. Here's a headline from NPR. 33 hours, a timeline of Charlie Kirk shooting and a search for the suspect. As I said, you can't make this stuff up. Here's another headline. 33 hours, a timeline of Charlie Kirk shooting and a search for a suspect. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Spencer Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period, FBI Director Kash Patel said. Mind you, he was 22 years of age too, so that's a series of 11s, and that's another story for another time. And around 9/11 too. It's Gematria, but I'll focus on that on another video. Here's another one. FBI Director Kash Patel details the 33-hour manhunt for Charlie Kirk's killer. Here's another headline from News Nation. It says in the first paragraph, the suspect who allegedly murdered right-wing activist Charlie Kirk was arrested within 33 hours of the fatal shooting after being turned in by a family member, and authorities have tracked exactly what led up to the attack. Robinson, 22, was taken into custody late Thursday night, police said. He is accused of gunning down Kirk while he was speaking at Utah Valley University. It goes on to say, see if you guys could put these numbers together. Kirk was hit by a single rifle round from a rooftop roughly 200 yards away, sending 3,000 attendees scrambling for cover. FBI Director Kash Patel said the FBI had received 11,000 leads and will follow up on all of them as the investigation continues. As I told you, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Check this out. Now here's the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox. And here's what he said. The governor of Utah, he said at a press conference, he's a Republican, conservative governor. He said, for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country, he said. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. The governor said he prayed for 33 hours. Look, I blew it up. I've been telling you guys this stuff. See that? For 33 hours. Now here is another quote from the governor. This is Spencer Cox. And he said, for the last 33 hours, I had been praying that this person who murdered Charlie Kirk was from another country. That he was not one of us, because we are not like that. But it was one of us. What does one of us mean? 33 hours. He prayed for 33 hours. Ordo Chao. I told you guys. I've been warning you guys. You cannot make this stuff up.
Investigators are revealing how a tip from the suspect's own father helped end this manhunt, and the details show this was a carefully planned attack. Authorities identified the suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. He was taken into custody here in St. George on Friday morning after his father recognized him in police photos distributed nationwide. Officials say Robinson at first refused to surrender until his father contacted a youth pastor who also serves as a U.S. Marshals Task Force officer. That call ultimately led the FBI straight to Robinson.
We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Investigators say Robinson arrived at the Utah Valley University on the morning of the shooting in a gray Dodge Challenger before carrying out the attack. Surveillance shows him moving across rooftops, then fleeing after that fatal shot. Authorities recovered his rifle wrapped in a towel and discarded along his escape route. Forensic teams are now analyzing the bullets engraved with messages left behind at the scene. Investigators are also crediting fast coordination between federal agents and local officers and a father who turned in his son, with bringing the suspect into custody in just 33 hours. Of course, this investigation remains ongoing. Reporting in St. George, Utah, I'm Melissa Bethencourt, Scripps News Group.
Well, after a 33-hour manhunt, U.S. authorities say that they have captured the man accused of killing conservative activist and a Trump loyalist, Charlie Kirk. Law enforcement confirms the suspect is in custody, ending a high-stakes search operation. Investigators identified the suspect as a 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, that's his name, a resident of Utah. Police say Robinson made remarks to relatives suggesting that he carried out the shooting. A family member reportedly told a friend about those statements, and that friend then alerted the police. Reports suggest that Tyler Robinson confessed to his father, who served 27 years in the Washington County Sheriff's Department. Utah Governor Spencer Cox, during a news conference, said that the authorities have caught the suspect, adding that investigators recovered physical evidence tying Robinson to the crime that killed Charlie Kirk.
The minister went to a minister who is involved with law enforcement, by the way, and his good friend is a top U.S. Marshal, and they took it from there, and then it was a father got involved, namely his father, and said, we got to go in, and they, so I understand it, and again, subject to change, but, you know, the facts are the facts. We have the person that we think is the person we're looking for, but they drove into the police headquarters, and he's there now.
U.S. law enforcement confirmed that state and local officers made the arrest late Thursday in St. George, Utah. That's about 400 kilometers away from the location of where the incident took place. And that is southwest of the Utah Valley University campus, where Charlie Kirk was shot 2 days earlier.
So guys, all I could do is tell you is to prepare for the BS, because you know it's coming. I've tried to warn you guys. You know it's coming. I love you. Please continue to pray without ceasing. Don't choose sides, Democrat and Republicans. Don't choose sides. Both sides are two wings on the same New World Order bird. Just a double-headed phoenix right here sitting in front of you. To them, it's all a game. It's all a game. The grand chessboard. And the people are just pawns on that chessboard that's being moved around and can be expired at any time. Because remember, as George Bush said, there's an angel in the whirlwind that directs this storm. You want to guess what angel he was talking about? Talking about the fallen angel Lucifer. Love you guys. Stay safe out there. May the good Lord continue to bless you and your family.